Hello my friends, finally we have the confirmation of this Russian attack convoy that was completely flatlined by Ukrainian drones. The job was conducted by Ukrainian Border Control Service. Yes, they also have military, they operate with the drones. They're not only protecting the borders, but they're also fighting. Some of their personnel which is trained to do so. Well, actually I expected a longer video. This one is just 1 minute 35 seconds, but it shows how stupid this attack really was, and let's see it all together. Yeah, sorry, I will switch off the music, it's kind of loud. So this is the Russian tank, you see, it is going and it is being kissed by lots of the Ukrainian drones on the way, and you see that it's not even a hangar type of the tank. This is T-72B3 modification, the most advanced T-72 mod, with no armor on the sides, except Arena M. That's the state-of-the-art Russian protection against projectiles. But it seems it's not protecting those tanks against the drone strikes. Well, this is the hangar tank, right? Probably T-62 or some of the BMP. No, actually it's a tank. You can see a barrel here and a Russian flag. The tank was cancelled by multiple of the drones. And this tank that we saw before was stopped, maybe it's one more tank, and except the Contact 5 armor on the turret and some of the grille on the top, this tank is just not protected against the drone strikes. So is it some sort of the Russian experiment to test the Arena M defense system in the real conditions with the real soldiers against the real Ukrainian drones? Well, if it is so, this experiment totally failed. Because tanks were lost, this one and others, lots of the vehicles Russia used, and also motorcycles. This is the motorcycle guy, for example. And those are motorcyclists. Well, altogether Russia lost around 20 of the vehicles, maybe even more. Our guy says that 80% of all of the Russian units didn't make it to the front lines, and entirely all of them were flatlined after all. Most of the losses are for the Russian tanks, but also Russian infantry fighting vehicles. You see, this tank is also, I would say, not protected. But it has the Arena M system installed, which should help against the drones, but it is, as we see, useless. I wonder why. Well, I'm gonna show you the video of those tests, and potentially this system is very effective, but somehow it's not working. And we see it on this video. Tons and tons of the Russian tanks, Russian trucks, were also there. Oh, this is the Grad rocket artillery system of the Russian army, which was hit. Yeah, this is Grad, one more. All of those rockets were hit by FPV drones. Here they tried some of the old mid-wave tactics with Technologia Arena M, which failed miserably. Also, since confirmed the attack, it was geolocated as not far away from Novohoretsk and Mayak villages on the way to reach Dobropilya. It is somewhere over here, and Russians didn't manage to do it. So this is Mirnograd, to the south more there is Pokrovsk. Yeah, this attack was brave, but at the same time very stupid. My friends, a reminder, please like this video just right now and subscribe to the channel. We are on the way to reach 1 million subscribers, and if you can, you may support my job on Patreon or membership of YouTube channel. You're awesome, you're fantastic, and let's go continue with the video. It seems like Majakovsk analyst hasn't yet put it on his map, but this is the location. So Pokrovsk, Mirnograd, and somewhere here near Novotoretsk and Mayak, it was the Russian attack attempt, and they tried to move to Dobropilya. It's the main target now for the Russian forces in this area of Pokrovsk and Mirnograd. Well, if we open this map, we may check out what is happening in Konstantinivka, and there, without any changes for the last at least 2 weeks. Russian army halted its attempts to advance there into the settlement. They just proclaimed that they've captured it, but it's not like that. Russia has no control over Konstantinivka. It is still in a gray zone. Yeah, this is the Russian map. In Konstantinivka, they say that, okay, the red territory, now some of the magenta territory. What is happening here? They also say that they went forward in Chasiv Yar. Propelling to Krasnoye village, well, yeah, that's the only, maybe they have those territorial gains, but the situation in Konstantinivka on Russian maps, it's like that in red color just because Putin said that they've occupied it. That's it. The real picture is different, and we still have lots of the drone video confirmations with the presence of the Ukrainian armed forces in Konstantinivka. And yeah, I promised to tell you about Arena M, this wunderwaffe of the Russian army, which they put on T-72B3 modification of their state-of-the-art tank. Well, Russians' best tank is T-90, but it is very similar to T-72. I just don't know why they use T-90 and not T-72B4 or something. Well, anyways. This is the anti-tank warfare, you see, the guy with RPG, here the projectile is coming, and Arena M just kabooms, you see, and destroys the shell. So could be a good anti-drone warfare, especially when drones are flying with a very low speed. So the system is using Doppler radar to monitor the situation around the tank, identifies the proper direction and launches the projectile to cancel the shell coming. So the tank is okay here, the shell is being destroyed on the way to reach the tank. But, as we saw, it doesn't work against the drones. Well, maybe Russians forgot to calibrate their defense system for the low-flying projectiles, and that's why they felt they might try one more time. Yeah, Russians. And it tells a lot about the Russian defense in general. I mean, the Russian air defense, which is not working really that good. They put one Panzer S1 system close to Wildberries, for example, in St. Petersburg, and it was pretty much useless. They shut down one drone. There were many other drones flying too, and Russians know what they should protect: refineries, oil storages, and Wildberry storages. But they do not do it somehow, maybe because they're in lack of the air defense systems. By the way, in their groups of St. Petersburg, they were very grateful for the operation of the Russian air defense. Okay, we're also grateful. And this is the page about Arena defense system. So now it's Arena M modernized one. They definitely use Doppler radar for that, and it is used to fight anti-tank weapons, anti-tank guided missiles, even light anti-tank weapons. Is the drone light anti-tank weapon? Maybe, but it was not detected by this Doppler radar. Upon detection, defensive rockets, nothing was fired. You saw the video, it just didn't work. And Arena M is the modernized version, which is able to intercept munitions incoming from all aspects, including true top tank missiles like Javelin. Wow! So this is the best of the best on the paper, yeah? Russians put the system on T-80, T-90, but also installed on T-72B3. Russia was also exploring installing the system on T-72B3, yeah, the tanks which were used in that attack for experiment purposes. And we have the information already in Wikipedia that July 24th, which means yesterday, the footage from Ukrainian kamikaze FPV drones showed drones striking the back of T-72B3A with the system. So next time Russians should ask Ukrainians to use javelins only, yeah, for test purposes. Okay, today Ukrainians, we're gonna send several of the tanks to reach your positions. Use javelins. Don't use FPVs. Well, you may try also RPGs and that stuff, but FPV drones, no, please no. Kyiv Post also published the article Russian new Arena M anti-drone system fails in action. So it tells again that there is no system, no antidote against FPV drones so far. Those could be just nets, and supply lines are being covered with those nets, but nets do not protect against large drones like FP1, FP2, Luty drones, and Russians try to put nets on their refineries, and we see what happens, so it doesn't help. At least 2 last years FPV drones were used absolutely massively, and still there is no protection. And I guess for this reason the kill zone exists, where it is very dangerous to operate, for both of the sides, by the way. Yeah, we don't have like the very long version of the video, but Ukrainian drone forces have claimed that 9 tanks destroyed, so totally 20 vehicles are being disabled, including smaller ones, not just tanks, but it's a great number. It's a big attack convoy. Before, nothing like that was happening, at least this year. I don't think their active protection system functioned as advertised. Indeed. And you know, I also monitor the situation and comments from our officers, from our military directly, and they say, they confirm that Russia continued those mid-wave attacks, so it's not the last one. that we saw today. They try to move ahead. Those attacks, they start from around 20 kilometers away from the front line, and they want to get closer. There are several of the directions where it is happening. One of those I've just showed you, the Brapila direction, not that far away from Pokrovsk and Mirnograd, and I'm out of clue why they do it, because before even it was understandable that they are not successful with mid waves, so they stopped those and changed for the infiltration attacks. Maybe Gerasimov wants to get more of the territories and they accumulated some of the resources, or maybe they're just testing their tactics with Arena M, I don't know. But I'm just curious, the final thing, what do they want to achieve in the current war scenario where tanks, they're the main targets? Yeah, you can operate in some of the conditions with the tanks, but not with a mid-wave tank attack. It is suicide. I wonder why Russians soldiers, they do agree for that. Like, you'll die anyway, so it's better to refuse? Yeah, you could be flatlined by your own command, but there is the chance for you to escape somewhere, I don't know, to desert, to leave position and run. But here is like the imminent death if you go and agree on those attacks. Plus, Russia also burns its military units. They continue to lose their tanks. They lost thousands of those. What Soviet Union was accumulating for decades, what Russia was producing, everything of that is mostly grinded down in Ukraine. So Russia now still produces tanks, but because of the sanctions, they don't have high-quality spare parts, like, for example, for the aiming equipment, for electronics. They use some of the Chinese analogs, and their tanks underperform. So this Arena M system, it could be made without those Western-made components. Maybe with them, I'm not sure, but it didn't work. And this is the shame. Maybe that's why Russia is not using Armata tanks on Ukrainian front lines, because it would be just destroyed in several minutes and that's it. It's a bad reputation for the Russian weapons, and Russia sadly still has customers for weapons, like for example Asian countries. More about the front lines. So Andrew Perpetua, who monitors the situation on the front lines and all of those videos, says that Ukraine hit this weird custom ZIL-131 more than 30 kilometers behind the line with a fiber optic drone. Nowhere is safe, and definitely it is a very strange ZIL. I think it was used for supplies, was converted into this short-style Mad Max vehicle, and it was hit somewhere in Donetsk Oblast. Alright, it's good that people even share some of the images from the place. You see, there's the hole in this hangar, Ukrainian fiber optic control drone goes in, wow, the roof and this hangar has been shrapnelled. And here is the vehicle, waiting. I wonder why is it abandoned? And it was, after all, kissed. Another drone, and we have the confirmation, smoke is coming, so the vehicle is absolutely no-go. So just to understand that 30 kilometers for the fiber optic control drones, it's nothing. Right guys, I want to make this video a little bit shorter. The next one will be about, you see what is happening. It is right now already, so probably I'm not gonna go live, but I'm gonna monitor the situation and record the video about kabooms in Russia. So stand by for the new video in a few hours. My friends, you are awesome, and thank you so much for your kind support of the channel on Patreon. The link for it, by the way, is in the video description right below, so if you can, you may support the job that I do here daily. And also, you may join membership of YouTube channel if you watch me on YouTube by pressing button join. My friends, thank you so much, and don't forget to press like to this video, subscribe for the channel. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.